Thank you, sir, for saying yes to this interview, Sir Ige. And I'm very honored that you actually said yes. Yun. So welcome to this what I call social distancing designer interviews. Alam ko mahaba pero kasi it's a fun. So sir, kamusta naman kayo this quarantine season?
Ito quiet. At least walang disruption in this. I mean, syempre it's disruption talaga, no? But I'm quite happy and relaxed now kasi I can concentrate now on the projects that I've been shelving, and because nga, like mas disruptive yung social life like attending dinners, attending function. But now I'm actually go back to my 2008 and 2009 mode na wala pang masyadong Facebook noon, walang masyadong disruption, but I'm actually finishing 2 major projects now na dire-diretso. So walang problema. And then of course, no, like I really feel so bad for the rest of the country kasi nga like they have to, visit, like people with big families. Ako, mag-isa lang ako, basically, with my partner. So, dalawa lang kami. And then, I'm quite lucky because there's a grocery on the ground floor of our condo. And I don't really have to go out. And I cook. I have developed a routine over 1 month. And I think I'll just carry on doing like this kahit wala ng isolation, wala ng community quarantine. I'm too old to party. Hindi naman, but so many things that has to be done work-wise.
The reason for this interview is because I really wanted people to know more of who you are and the body of work that you've done. Kasi reading upon your profile and it's really a lot. So first, I'd like you to briefly introduce yourself naman for our audience.
My name is Ige Ramos, born and raised in Cavite City. I'm basically a book designer. So I studied fine arts in University of Santo Tomas, but I didn't finish it. I'm a dropout because I'm a rebel. But I continued working as a mahalaga sa akin, no, as a graphic designer, as a book designer. You really have, like for me, college degrees not everything, no. It's really up to the person. What's your career path? Okay, my career path, number one, I was lucky because I was able to work for a government institution that doesn't require a diploma. Okay, so, and that was before, no? That was the Cultural Center of the Philippines. And I may be advertising major, but I never, working for advertising agency never appealed to me. I don't know why. Mas ma-appeal sa akin yung cultural work. So I was quite lucky at a very young age, I was a working student. I was 16 or 15. I was already working for like a general factotum for a gallery in Luneta, in Manila Hotel. And my boss was MP Pilapil. And I was able to meet all these artists like Mon Orlina, Ben Cab, when they were still starting. So one of my first mentors is Ray Albano.
Ray Albano!
Yeah, so
wow.
There's I'm happy because Ray Albano taught me photography, graphic design. Otherwise, I cannot learn this in school. And it's a very, very interesting mentorship because I was already there in about mga 1979, 1980. I was still a student, and I was a working student. And I was exposed to the rudiments of graphic design. He would send me to the printing press. Wala pang computers noon. It's all cut and paste,
Wow.
photography,
Sir, this is
you
the
know.
story that we'd like to hear kasi actually that's the next question that I would really want
Mm.
kasi what was the graphic design scene back in your day? So sige, sir, please continue.
My training's not really in advertising, no. So I'm not used to all these like sleek production spaces, big budget, no. So yung graphic design exposure ko was basically very crafty, very it's more artistic rather than commercial. There's not so much money involved. It's process oriented. We don't know exactly, we cannot predict the outcome of the poster or the work because nga, we're more involved with the process, no? So walang set look or feel or peg. Like we don't even know what wala like when we're going to design something, walang nagpapakita ng peg. So we just let's say for instance if I'm doing a poster, I just sit down and then get the text and then play around with paints, play around with photography. Sometimes we collect dead leaves, photocopy them.
I'm reminded of posterity, sir, because I think kasama kayo doon, di ba?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Exactly.
those posters that I saw have always parang gave me the chills knowing that how were these posters and now you're talking about the process of how to make the posters back then. So,
Yeah,
wala
yeah.
kayong pegs nun.
Walang peg, walang let's say for instance like typography, like may mga schools of thoughts, no, like sila Frey Kabading for instance. He's another good friend, no. I interviewed him before, you know, because I like his works, like yan si Frey Kabading, si Nicrisio, si Cesar Hernando. Unfortunately Cesar passed away. He did the posters of Mike De Leon, you know, Kung Mangarap Ka't Magising, Kisap Mata, Sister Stella L. You know, walang, when I say it's process-oriented, meaning you go through the process of creation. For instance, we don't have facility before, uh, like Photoshop or Adobe CC with full typography. I mean, the typeface that we have is very limited. So if you see my posters, like for instance, yung posters ni Frey Kabadi is very typographic, like Swiss school, malinis, no? But yung poster ni Ray Albano, which I'm very much influenced, medyo madumi, no? Meron kaming what do you call this, like letter transfer, yung letter set, and you know letter set's very expensive. So what we do, we photocopy the letter set, we don't use it, and then yung photocopy mismo yung gugupitin namin, cut and paste, and then we photograph it, like, and then go to the dark room, process the film, um, print it on a photo paper, and then tamper it again in process until we like the output. No?
That's a long process. How long does
It's
a poster take?
5 days.
5 days. 5 days
five
to
days of
create.
like minsan kuha mo kagad, and then printing is the fastest thing, no, like, and then in printing you really have to have, let's say, friends like the stripper and the production manager. Now they will allow you to go to the printing press, inside the press, no, to check. Let's say for instance yung stripper, I don't know, they still have the strippers, no? Like yung may goldenrod paper and then the negative, they put things together. Wala pang color sep nun. I mean, color separation is done in Hong Kong or in the States or in Singapore, but very, very expensive. So what we do our own color separation. Like we understand how magenta, yellow, cyan, and black behaves by putting different screens. I was quite lucky because I saw this guy who's doing comics. Ito yung isang stripper dun sa Vera Reyes. They were like stripping the comics like full color. And I was like fascinated. They put like different screens and the tones and everything. And so I asked questions. So if you combine these two colors and then with these two screens, what will happen? So para siyang filter. So like when I was like doing full color poster and they think it's full color, actually two colors lang siya, two plates. It's a matter of like putting like different combinations. Let's say I would mix like special orange and special blue, and then by putting different films and overlays, it can create like a fantastic color. Or sometimes I would go to the imprenta mismo, dun sa machine. I would put, we call it like a split fountain na rainbow. So I would put, in fact, that it's included in that, that particular poster is included in the catalog of posterity. And it looks like it's a gradient, solid gradient of different colors. Akala mo color separation. Actually, it's just like putting ink into the roller na iba-iba. So, ang background nun is like, it's the Borashi technique of the ukiyo-e printmakers during the Edo period, wherein they print, kasi background ko talaga, like after that, is I trained in printmaking under Nolan Padilla. No, he's also a theater director. And like by putting different colors na graduated color tones on a plate, and you can actually print it. So I said, this can be done on a mechanical process on multiple copies. And then at the same time, we don't really care about the quality control na each poster should look the same. I was like one of the first ones who actually embraced digital technology and understood it very well because of my analog training. Pero yung people who's behind me or older than me couldn't fathom. So from analog to digital for me was like a super fast transition. I became a member of IDN Club. Like I was like the founding member of IDN Club Philippines. I was active in Philmag. I became a president of IDN during that time, and it was a very, very exciting time in doing digital art. And then when AAP, yung Art Association of the Philippines, came out with digital art category in the annual, it's a painting sculpture contest. So sumali ako. So sabi ko, sasali ako because this is my medium. And this was like in 2000. And I was like chosen as like one of the artists in 1999 for the very first sundungan, no? Yung parang they were introducing digital art. Sabi ko, I don't see art as a commodity na, and deep in my heart, alam ko walang bibili ng artwork ko for like, let's say, 30,000 or 50,000 pesos because it's digital art. Sometimes it's soulless. Wala yung kaluluwa. Unlike if it's painted, it should serve a purpose. Hindi siya parang painting or parang printmaking. So, doon pa lang, alam ko na yung may sagot na ako na hindi pwede. I mean, hindi siya pwede maging art form na art for art's sake. Although, like, I was lucky because when they first instituted digital art as a art form in AAP, yung Art Association of the Philippines. So it won like first place. So parang okay, it's there. But it's not going to be a career path because as graphic designer, as book designer, I have another purpose. And that purpose is service. It's service to publishing. And I mean, for me kasi, ang pinaka-importante sa akin is may function kasi ang graphic design. Ang function ng graphic design is to proclaim something, like to distribute it, to communicate, to disseminate information.
Yes.
So by combining my interest in let's say in art and design, in cultural work, and putting it all together. Tapos ngayon, like for the past 20 years, when I established IRDS in 2000, actually, 1999, when I established Ige Ramos Design Studio in early 1999. Because before, it used to be, parang mga, wala kaming corporate, parang naglalaro lang kami. Let's say I call it Tomato Graphics. That's my company before, like, but it's not registered, tomato.com, because we want to join the .com bandwagon. And then, so in 1999, I established Ige Ramos Design Studio. Basically, it's a publishing clearinghouse. But in terms of publishing, merong higher calling kasi yung publishing na not very few people are in this because there's practically no money, or it's hard to make money out of in publishing. So you really have to be creative in how you market your books, your publications. And yun, tapos for some may mga konting disruption because when I established the office, first in Makati, and then we moved to Intramuros. And then after that, in 2009, I decided to close the shop, but still continue doing the
design work,
the business, the design work. And I'm registered with the National Book Development Board as a publisher, and I'm also registered at the National Library, so I can get ISBN numbers for publishing projects. What happened was I closed the physical office, but I outsourced everything, including yung technical, and then yung admin work, outsource lahat yan, accounting, logistics. Parang during that period, like from 2000 until 2009, I did practically cookbooks.
So this was the start of your career in terms of focusing as a book designer, tama ba?
Book designer, and then eventually became a food writer, because from early as 2003, I was doing cookbooks. Practically all the most influential, well, not, I didn't say this, but somebody forward, like parang they wrote my parang short bio that I designed some of the most influential cookbooks in the country.
And that's niche work.
Yeah, like niche work talaga, like culinaria and in fact, ang dami ko talagang dinesign na cookbook. So that's how it opened. And then so 2010, I was doing two major books, one for Ortigas Foundation, yung Casa de Dios, La Casa de Dios, it's this Churches of the Philippines, and then I was doing for Ayala Museum the Gold Book, which is a very, very difficult book to do. And both actually were nominated for the National Book Award, and then yung Gold Book won for Best Design. Is in fact my third National Book Award for Best Design.
Wow.
And it's really hard because there are very few book designers. So So when I meet another book designer, they tend parang, wow, book designer din to taon to. So pinagdaanan niya rin yung pinagdaanan ng hirap. So every time I meet, let's say, Carl Castro or si Jordan, siguro I can count 5 people who's designing books. So I was also lucky because for 5.5 years, I worked with Rustans. I was like the de facto publisher of their magazine, Sansrival, which was also my concept. So yung background ko as cultural worker, who's a very sustainable thinking, and then yung background ko rin as a food writer, yung love for international gastronomy. So pinagsama-sama yung discipline, I was able to form a great team. Actually, it's a team that, like, I chose the team and work on a magazine called Sansrival, no? For Rustans, and it went on for 5. Akala ko mga 1-2 years contract, but it went on for 5.5 years. And I'm just happy it's finished kasi I believe in product life cycle, no? Parang wag mo nang pilitin, no? Like, so nung it started in 2011, and then the mid 2016, sabi ko nagsasarahan yung ibang magazine, nandito pa rin kami. Graphic design and food writing serve a purpose, a function. It's actually a Sansrival. It's a small magazine, but it created a very big dent in the publishing industry, especially with Anvil. It was given a bronze award, no? Anvil. I mean, for me, the awards are like, okay, they're nice, but I cannot just like sit on them. Like, it serves parang a guide to people. It's an informed decision when they buy things from the supermarket. So dun naniniwala ko how to use good design to help people have a very, very good informed decision.
That is true.
In making their decisions in buying.
Yeah.
So yun yung responsibility. So I'm not just like designing for the sake of designing. I mean, that's the job of the artist, no? That's the job of painters or poets or dreamers. They're there. That's why I love poetry. I like to look at paintings. I like Tom Waits because his songs resonates with me. All the despair and the destruction and the loneliness. Yung parang, wow, they were able to articulate certain things in certain emotions in 2 or 3 stanzas. Hindi ko kaya yon. Graphic designer ko, I should have. My problem is external. I solve other people's problem. I cannot just like 4 lines of haiku and pag binasa mo yung haiku, ganda nito. Grabe. But paano to naisulat ng isang poet, no? Or isang musician na bakit, wow, ang ganda ng tono. Ba't ganun yung tono? Di ba? Like when you listen to music, parang, or kinakanta pa lang.
It evokes feelings eh.
Feelings, tapos medyo na nagkakaroon yung lump yung throat mo, parang naiiyak ka na hindi mo maintindihan because that's the power of art. So, ganun din yung yung graphic design. You just try to harness everything that you know, harness. You know, like sometimes kasi like like what I regret really is not going back to school and take my master's or PhD. But then again, I have friends in the academe, and luckily I get invited. Let's say I became a fellow of the yung Kritika, no? This is like art and cultural writing. I became a fellow dun sa Bienvenido and Santos Creative Writing Centers. Tapos yung mga kasabay ko, nagpi-PhD, nagma-masters. Wow. Tapos ako drop out. So, tapos sabi ng isang professor na yung isang mentor ko rin na sila victories, sila sino ba to? Sila Dr. Shalsita from Ateneo. Sabi, you don't have to go back to school kasi na-form mo na yung gusto mong gawin.
Yeah,
So,
I believe so.
confident ka naman. Like, there's nothing, you know, like, because nga I have this hunger for knowledge, and yung parang ako na nag-design ng course ko na
That's true.
parang hindi ko na siya, you know, parang hindi ko na siya in-enroll sa eskwelahan, no? And I'm also lucky because I was never out of job. Money wasn't difficult because I think you motivate. I mean, minsan kasi baka minamasama ng ibang tao na parang, oh, yabang mo naman kasi sikat ka, ganon. Pero alam mo, money wasn't so difficult when I was like working because I'm not thinking of money all the time. What I think about is how can I serve my client?
Yeah.
Or how can I serve people? How can I serve the community? Minsan makikita ko medyo deplete na yung bank account or yung ATM or wala akong pansweldo dun sa staff during that time. And then suddenly there's this guy who out of the blue magbabayad na kagad ng down payment. And then, you know, like I'm just lucky. Like for instance, like my gig with Rustan's, I actually defined the budget. And when I submitted the budget to them, I made sure that the staff gets paid well. Let's say my photographer, my writer, everybody gets a good salary from the magazine.
I think, sir,
And
na it's more of because of good work. As you've said earlier, that because you had good work, iba yung goals nyo, not really the money. So, as much as parang it's a rule or it's a law na if you do good work, money will eventually follow. So, that shouldn't be the end goal.
yeah, so parang like let's say for instance, no, 'di ba, like when we parang submit a contract to a client, may mga parameters na I will do a book, it's 250 pages, tapos after doing 200 tapos dapat ano lang siya 8.5 by 11, black and white lang siya, color ganun. So I did that to a client one time, and then when I was like doing the project, I wasn't so happy. So sabi ko parang we were already on their second draft. It was Christmas vacation, tapos nung January bumalik ako to continue the project. Sabi ko, can I change the design? Kasi I'm not happy. Sabi nung client, but we have a deadline. Well, the deadline's not till July. It's only January. But can I change it? Kasi nga, no, but you have a contract. Ganun.
But is the client already happy with the current design?
Yeah, he was happy with the current design. Pero, so I proposed another design which will make me more, it will make me happier and more productive. Kasi parang nabobore ako dun sa first design na parang minadali ko lang because of budget deadline. Yung parang para ma-release na yung fund. So you have to design something. But so ako naman parang wow, you know, like parang feeling ko it's not enough for parang feeling ko I'm shortchanging the client by just like doing that particular look, and sabi niya, okay, it's up to you. So, and I was right. And that book won the National Book Award for Best Design.
Wow.
Kasi for me, parang bayad na tong kliyente to eh. I mean, I won't look for another project. I just like concentrate on this particular project at the end. Kasi kumbaga, solve na yung 6 months ko eh. I mean, I'm not going to pursue another project at this point na magkakaroon ako ng heart attack or whatever. I mean, I have some contemporaries, like in design contemporaries, and then when we meet up, I won't mention the names, but they look so harassed, they look so tired, they look so busy, mobile phones, they have kung ano-anong devices na sabi ko, wow, that's not the life I want to do. I mean, they have so many clients going on. Tapos may mga projects na napapabayaan because, you know, they're doing something else, and then they delegate it to their people, and then they cannot even, like when we meet up, they cannot even enjoy their dinner or lunch or drinks because they're always on their phones. They're pursuing money, they're pursuing clients, they're galit sila dun sa EA nila, like, you know, or ba't ka nangako ng ganyan, ganyan, sabi ko, God, I never had that experience, so I plan to live longer. I don't want, I'm 57, but, you know, I mean, now you can never tell, but, you know, you have the virus going on, but I'd rather do more relaxing projects, more, you know, it doesn't pay much, but it's just enough to get you by. Being a book designer or a graphic designer, this is like not competing with other designers. I mean,
I think, sir, it's more of a, I think what you're doing is really as a designer as well. Parang you're also designing the life that you want, and I think that's really, not just commendable, but at the same time, I think we should be doing that. And I think ECQ, at least for some who has the privilege to do so, is recognizing, like, yun siya. That was so much of a history, sir. As in, sobrang, maski ako na, ang dami kong natutunan, especially in your history before, the manual things that you've done before. And because of that, my question pala is this. What do you think has the change, or how has design changed from the time when you started? Now you saw this process, the manual process before. You said that you were very process oriented to the time when we had computers. So how did that change?
Well, yung technology change so much, no? Pero yung intent tsaka yung design process, hindi magbabago yan eh. Kasi mahalaga pa rin yung mahalaga pa rin yung well, what they have now is design brief, no? Like mahalaga pa rin yung design brief, no? Parang yung proseso nung from how do you get from point A to point B. So what's your motivation from getting from point A to point B? What's your intention? Ano yung mga design intention? Meron akong design class, no? So a good design always elicit a positive response. So hindi totoo na ikaw na yung parang Eric Clapton of Photoshop or the Beyonce of Illustrator. Ano pa rin eh, it's how people will perceive your design. Design yan eh. Mas wider yung scope ng audience mo eh. So you really have to understand your target audience or your target readership or your target in advertising the target market. Naniniwala ako doon. So ang nagbago lang talaga yung technology, but yung intention of delivering the goods from point A to point B, and then whether it's advocacy or making money for the product, still the process. Iba pa rin na alam mo yung design process, alam mo yung pinagdadaanan mo. So hindi ngayon ang daming tools, ang daming, my God, like over time I amassed something like 14,000 font families. I buy, I shop them.
Wow! Ang dami nun. Hindi pa mabigat yun?
So,
bigat nun.
Hindi naman. So, naka-file siya sa sa Font Explorer X Pro. Some fonts I throw them away because they're really ugly. They're not nice. parang ngayon, no, like, because, graphic design is so good to me, I I don't I use only and then during that time, no, I was teaching publication design sa PCCI, no. So we get free software from Adobe because education teacher. But syempre nung natapos na yung free software, so I don't really mind paying because Adobe helped me so much. Like
That's true.
I've been using their their products for commercial use because I was an instructor. So ngayon, parang I'm paying back, and then at the same time, I see a lot of like young typeface designers from myfont.com, or and I buy their fonts, and then I use them, and I see a use for them, and people are actually helping, like meron parang sa Facebook, meron parang informal design community eh. Like minsan nakikita ko yung work mo, sila Aaron, sila Joey, and then there's this like the older generation, and then this young generation. And I think it's very important to really pay. Let's say if I use somebody's artwork, you really have to pay them. Or if you use the typeface, just pay them accordingly. Kasi nga,
Yes.
with
Yes.
my experience, when I parang send a contract, let's say for instance, alam mo naman eh, let's say for instance, uy Ige, wala kaming budget. O, alam ko naman eh, kasi NGO, they need, please don't make tawad my fees. I just do it for free, okay? Libre na lang yung design. Pero huwag mo na lang akong tatawaran. So,
That's a good technique. That's a good technique. Kasi at least you don't, hindi sasama yung loob mo eh. Parang, okay, sige, I'll help you.
I'll help you na lang kasi nga, like, which I did a lot of pro bono work for Child Hope, for Pangara Foundation, ito yung mga street children, mga shelter for displaced youths. No? So, and then I was involved with yung Pasay network of kasi ang daming mga pangalan na yung sexual trafficking of children. So ito yung tipong wala talagang budget for graphic design. Ganun lang, yung process hasn't really changed, design process. Yung fashion, yun, that keeps changing, yung look, So yun, basically.
All right. Sir, that was it was very insightful kasi that has been my question. For someone who likes history, for someone who likes design history and understanding it, your insight on it really has helped me in terms of understanding. And I hope the viewers would also learn from it as well. But here's my last question. So, yeah, we had to, because I understand you also have things to do. Yeah, last question, sir. Being a book designer, can you give us 3 solid tips on how you conceptualize what makes a good book, the cover or design?
Manuscript from cover to cover. So that's the only way that you will understand the book. And then number 2 is start with a very simple typeface. Don't go overboard. Start with a very, very clean canvas, design in black and white, and then try to review your work as much as you can, because sometimes don't kid yourself that this is okay. In fact, it's not. So each typeface has a different. I love typeface, no, kasi that's the voice of your publication. It speaks different. I mean, typeface can be. It speaks to you, It can be friendly, it can be instructive, it can be wild. So choose your typeface accordingly. So yon. And read a lot. Read nonfiction, read novels, read poetry, watch movies that you don't feel like watching. Force
Going
yourself
out.
to listen to opera. Force yourself to listen to classical music. Listen to jazz. Listen to pop. Open your eyes. Open your ears.
Wow.
Read.
Wow. Yeah, that's very nice, sir. That's very nice. Kasi, kumbaga, it's forcing us to go out of our comfort zones. Kasi sometimes we get
Yup.
to, this is our biases eh. We always, parang joke na nga siya na parang, okay, Helvetica. But,
Yeah,
we can go beyond it eh. So, yun.
Yep.
Sir, that was very helpful and that was very historical, I should say. And I'm very glad to have had this interview with you. And I hope
Thank you too.
that people would get a lot of things from this video as well. So much like other videos, I'd also place your link, sir, in the description below so that they could also see your works. And this is sadly this is the end of the interview, but hopefully I get to see you after this quarantine.
Yep.
In person. I hope I get
That will happen.
Yes, and create one more video with you, as in the more extensive video. So, hindi lang dito. All right.
Okay.
Sir, thank you so much for your time. And again, see you after the quarantine.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you, sir. Bye. Hey, thanks for tuning here at SAW.DESIGN PH, and we hope you enjoyed this episode of 𝐼SO.DESIGN Design. Our goal is telling Philippine graphic design stories. If you'd like more content like this, how about clicking the subscribe button here? I think it's here, so you get more video resources about graphic design. And we're expecting to see you watching again here at 𝐼SO.DESIGN PH.